get into basketball because, my personal opinion, something crazy has actually been going on in the NBA that if you haven't been keeping up with it, you might have been surprised by how it's been playing out in the West. And this team went from almost not making the playoff to being kind of high up in the seeds. And basically, our headline that we're going to drop on this is the Lakers are playing well at the right time. And it's really surprising how well they've actually turned around. And it was actually, in my opinion, without LeBron, and I'm not dogging him as I always do on the episode, that they really found their groove, I think, and started turning around. I think last week me and CJ talked about they came out 1-12 and maybe lost 6 or 7 games, I think, in a span. And LeBron comes back from his injury, the only person to ever heal so fast from this injury and ready to play. And they're abated all the way. They were out of the play-in game, and now they're up to the 7th seed, I believe. Of course, they played Houston today, and I'll be bringing up my screen here as you guys go ahead and talk about this. CJ, what do you think about this Laker teams, how they've been playing right now?
Well, yeah, I said it post-trade deadline. Once I saw the team, once I saw how they played, the chemistry, the spacing, you had the defensive versatility with Jared Vanderbilt. They're number one in defensive efficiency since those acquisitions. They had a great W on Friday against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Anthony Davis had 38 and 17. Last time I checked in this game, he had 36 against Houston. Again, this is a layup game. This is when this is a get right game. If you're struggling, anybody that's struggling or having a bad shooting night, you play the Rockets, you'll get right back on track because they don't play any defense. Their shot selection is terrible. They don't move the basketball. Everything is isolation, and it just seems to be for Houston. They don't really believe in their head coach. It looks like his voice doesn't carry in that locker room. So we'll definitely see some changes from that franchise in the offseason. But back to the Lakers. You guys, I put a tweet out, I believe it was Tuesday. I said Lakers Bucks 2022-23 NBA Finals. That's my prediction. And the reason why I said that is because if you break down a series, right? You break down any series against any team in the West and you rank the best players, the top 3 players are going to be LeBron and AD. Now, if it's the Warriors, you add Curry in there. If it's the Suns, you add KD. Nuggets, Jokic, but still the top 3 players in that series, 2 of those players are on the Lakers. And also 2 of those players that you rank those top 3 have already won a championship prior. So the chemistry's there. One of the greatest plays in basketball is LeBron James, Anthony Davis screen action. You could do so many things off that. Now you add the spacing with D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves. You have 4 guys on the court now that could create their own shot, that could pass, shoot, dribble with Reeves, with Russell, AD and LeBron. The front court with LeBron, AD, and Vanderbilt adds so much versatility on defense where they're able to switch. Vando's done a great job getting offensive rebounds, crashing the glass, guarding the opposing team's best player, making shots very difficult for the opposing team's best player as well. So this is what I wanted to see. This is what I expected. It's just tough for me to see a team defeat them 4 times in a series. It just is. I was having a really good discussion with one of my guys. He's the host of Above the Rim podcast. Does a really good job over there.
Shout out to my guy over there.
Yes, sir. Shout out to my guy. I believe
I actually just met him yesterday.
He was Justin. Yeah, shout out Justin, man. He's doing a really good job, dropping some great content. We had a healthy discussion on Twitter. I know that's a rare thing on Twitter. Everything is always slander and backlash and insults, but we had a healthy basketball NBA discussion when I dropped that tweet, and he said he respectfully disagreed, and I said, give me the teams you think that can defeat them, and he went through he said the Nuggets, Golden State, and the Grizzlies and Phoenix, obviously, and I broke those teams down and really showed all their flaws. Jokic, Ayton, for both of those guys respectively in the paint. The paint is so sweet. It's just too sweet. They can't protect the rim. Ayton's not a rim protector. Naz Reid and Karl Anthony Towns just had a field day on DeAndre Ayton on Wednesday. He had 3 rebounds in 30 minutes. How are you a starter playing 30 minutes? You only get 3 rebounds. It's just laughable. You're 6'11" and you only get 3 boards. Comedy. obviously KD and Booker, they're going to make it tough, right? They're elite shot creators, and then that's what's going to make that series very difficult. We don't know what you're going to get from Chris Paul. You may get a New Orleans Clipper throwback Chris Paul game, probably 1 or 2 games in a series, but you're not getting the same Chris Paul that we're accustomed to seeing over the last, not even the last 2 years, like 2 years ago when they went to the finals. You're not getting that Chris Paul right now. He's obviously injuries and age has caught up to him. That's why you get a guy like Kevin Durant to kind of mask some of those deficiencies that we've seen from CP3. So they have flaws. Denver, solid, excellent roster, great depth, but LeBron and AD, they go to the basket. And if in a Jokic, he can't protect the rim. That's just not his skill set. So he's gonna get in foul trouble guarding Anthony Davis, and he's gonna get in foul trouble trying to contest shots on LeBron. So that changes the whole series right there. It just does. It really does. And the Grizzlies, I like the Grizzlies. I think they have high upside. They're playing well with their young core. I think they're not ready right now. I think with a couple in a year or two, they've made the right steps. And as those guys continue to gain confidence, guys like Bane, Triple J really play well in John Morant's absence. Once they get it right, I say in a year or so, they're going to be in the Western Conference Finals and/or Finals for sure because Ja's special and that team is special, especially where they move the basketball. I just see the Lakers just going back there, man. I really do. Darvin Ham, I do have some questions with minute management, roster management as well, depending on rotations. But now since this starting five is solidified with Russell, Reeves, LeBron, AD, and Jared Vanderbilt, I think for that second unit, you could kind of fill some things out and figure out some things with Schroeder, Beasley, Hachimura, Troy Brown Jr., you could Wayne and Gabriel. You could switch some things up, and depending on who's hot at the right moment, you could create that second unit rotation and probably have a starter with them as well. So all in all, it's just tough for me to see any of those teams defeat the Lakers 4 times, man. And Golden State, they have the most experience. Their big three, other than LeBron, have the most experience in the NBA in the playoffs, obviously. So that's a factor for sure. But that road record is so nasty, 9-29. But you have to in a way, you have to kind of put an asterisk on it because they did bring back GP2. Wiggins is back, so that just improves their defense. So I think that would, to me, Golden State and Phoenix are the 2 toughest matchups for the Lakers en route back to the NBA Finals.
I really love that. And I was going to ask you, Nick, how do you feel on that? Because you're a Golden State fan.
I mean, CJ's right. We suck on the road. We're actually up 10 on Denver right now, but Denver's playing without Nikola Jokic. So let's see if we can close this thing out right. Momentum. We really need some momentum for Golden State. But as far as for the Lakers, clicking all cylinders. You know, the two main heads of the group. They're leading the way. LeBron is back. AD's been playing like a monster over the past 3 or 4 games. I mean, we've said it on many occasions. You know, I think we've said it on several occasions, honestly. I mean, the Lakers had probably the best trade during the trade deadline. You know what I'm saying? Acquiring great talent to surround LeBron, great shooters. And now we're seeing, you know, guys like Malik Beasley has came in and played well. Austin Reeves had like a 30-point game about 2-3 weeks ago. He's playing exceptional basketball, really taking pressure off the other 2 stars. And then on top of that, you got other guys as well, Jared Vanderbilt, who's able to be one of the anchors of the defense. You know, he's playing phenomenal basketball. And the list goes on and on. Wayne Gabriel, Dennis Schroeder. So this roster, you know, I've been kind of reflecting back on this. What if the Lakers had this roster at the beginning of the season, and we would see you know, where they would be at this moment? You know, in my opinion, they would probably be a 4 or 5 seed, or at least top 4 or 5 seed. I don't know exactly where they would be placed, but they would at least be a top 4 or 5 seed if they did have this roster already at the beginning of the season. So right now they're at the 7th or 8th seed. I can't exactly remember. And they're playing exceptional basketball right now, especially at the right time. So, you know, I mean, I know CJ got them going to the finals. I don't know if I have them that far. I don't know if I have them going that far, but the one thing that I will say is that people need to really look out for the Lakers, because when LeBron's playing exceptional basketball, not even just when LeBron's playing exceptional basketball, but when AD's leading the way and he's dominating at the way that he is, that's what makes them scary. So the Lakers are going to go as far as where AD can take him. We all know who LeBron is. We all know what he brings to the table, 4-time champion. We all know his greatness, but AD is the glue of this team as far as how far they can get. So as long as he can play exceptional basketball and dominate for this team, we could possibly see this team moving forward, moving deep into the playoffs.
Sounds like the same thing I said, bro. I mean, tell me, finals.
It's hard for me, and we'll get to that. It's hard for me to just say that the Lakers are back. Now, granted, last year's team and this year's team, even from the beginning, before trade deadline, they're a different team. Like it's obvious. Like they're playing well right now. They're playing like an actual team. I don't think Westbrook was the bad person on this team. I just think Westbrook was a bad fit for this team. And it caused more turmoil than anything to have him in that lineup. So personally, I'm still pumping the brakes on this Lakers team because LeBron is still basically healing, because if it was a torn tendon, he should be out. So I'm going to go ahead and be that guy, because there's been people on Twitter that's saying like basically his injury wasn't really what he said it was, and he thought they were done, so he was ending his season to prepare for next season. And now that they're good, he's, I'm actually okay, and now I'm ready to play. Do you think that is technically a chance of what happened here, or do you think that is stretching it a little bit?
If it is, who cares? You know what I'm saying? I mean, honestly, let's just be real. I mean, if the Lakers were playing bad basketball right now, I don't think anybody would blame LeBron for sitting out the rest of the year, whether he was like hurt or not. You know what I mean? Like if they were like the 13, 14 seed, you think he should be coming back right now?
Okay.
Like end of March, early April? No.
Okay, I'm just going to say this, and I didn't really think that you guys both, because CJ, you shrugged your shoulders. I know you're on mute while we're both talking there. I understand, but so I feel like you are with Nick on who cares on that part. This guy, I have always said he's a quitter. Like if his team's behind, he just quits. We had so many times in that fourth quarter where he walks out on games when he's leaving or when they're losing so bad. This team literally was out of the play-in game, and he was hurt. That should have been a season-ending surgery. And now all of a sudden this guy is, hey, I went to the LeBron James of foot doctors, and I healed faster than anyone he's ever healed because we're in the play-in game. And you guys are okay with that? Like, if that's really it, to me, anyways, it's not who cares. This guy quit on his team because he thought they were done, and they played better without him. And now they came back, because you can't lie. Not a soul can lie that some of them boys in them interviews are starting to make a little comments that you can hear basically what they're saying without verbally saying it. Oh, man, he's back. We've got to now change our style to play back with him and adapt to him. You guys were winning. I understand he's the greatest player right now in this time. Technically, they're playing better this way than they weren't without him, right? I mean, you all agree with that. Like, it should be gelled together, not like, well, now we got to change what was winning. Like, that's my little bit of a rant there. To me, he quit.
Well, hang on a second, because if I can recall, the Lakers were actually starting to turn around the season before LeBron got hurt. Because let's not forget, the Lakers made that trade deadline, or the Lakers made the trades, and then LeBron didn't go down until maybe 2 or 3 weeks after that. So I mean, they were already on the right track before he got hurt. So you can't say that. Oh, like they were already bad, he got hurt, then they turned it around, and let me come back. They were already turning it around, like right before he got hurt.
Games after LeBron got hurt than before LeBron got hurt with the new roster.
Yeah, because it's a better team.
Okay. But LeBron was hurt, that's what I'm saying. But LeBron was hurt. Like he was ready to quit.
We saw him. It's not like he got just some mystery injury. We saw him get hurt against Dallas.
Right, he said it popped. I didn't think it popped, but I mean, obviously, I'm not there to hear it.
I don't know the severity. Yeah,
I'm just saying either it
clearly there was significance to the injury because he was out for a few weeks.
Do y'all agree with that at least?
We said that. What would you say?
I said either he lied about it being so severe and him being out all year, or he is amazing and could be healed so fast. Like, I mean,
I
it's
don't-
one
I
of the
don't-
two, right?
I can't say he lied because I mean, just because you could get one diagnosis from one doctor, it could tell you something. You could get another opinion, and it could be something different, and that could determine whether you play or not. So
no doctor has
you don't
told him
know.
different.
Like originally they said originally they said if you need a surgery, he's obviously going to be out for the season. That was an option.
Mm-hmm.
Then sit out for a few weeks, see what happens after a couple of weeks. If it heals up, you feel like you come back and play, then come back and play. And that's what he's done. The way the team has played without him, I would hope they'd pass the ball because no other team, they don't have anybody that's close to better than LeBron on the roster other than AD. So why wouldn't you move the ball if LeBron's not there? Of course, LeBron's going to have the basketball in his hands, the best player on the team. So if he's not there, you have to move the rock to win. There's no one guy that's going to stop, be the one man show and do everything. Even with AD there, they still have to move the ball. Like, so I mean, like for that, when people make that take, is like when Jay Williams was saying when Austin Reeves was going crazy for a couple games, he's like, "What do you do when LeBron comes back?" I'm like, "What do you mean? What do you do when LeBron comes back?" He has to go back to his role, play spot up, and then in certain moments, in certain rotations, he could go back to doing what he did. Create his shot.
So that's my thing. Like, why do people say that? Like, why do people say that and then also say LeBron is a pass first guy? Like, okay, so if Austin Reeves goes crazy without LeBron, and y'all consider LeBron a pass first guy, y'all don't think he's gonna keep going crazy?
I don't think he's a pass first guy anymore. Beginning of his career, I think he used to be a pass first guy, but I don't think he's a pass first guy anymore.
So what is he?
He's pass first.
I think he's more. I don't think he's pass first, and I mean, I can have that opinion. I mean, he's more of a ball dominant, and he's going to try to play bully ball. And if he can't score, then he's a kick. I mean, he kicks it out for someone open, but I don't think he's a pass first.
So 38 and 8 before he got hurt. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, that's a good stat. I mean, I don't know what you're
that's
saying
almost
here.
a triple. That's almost a triple double. So is Jokic ball dominant too?
So is Jokic a pass first because he's getting triple doubles?
Right? Is Jokic pass first?
I don't think he's a pass first, but he's able to pass.
You don't think Jokic is a pass first player?
I don't think pass first. Like, I mean, he reads the defense. To say that he's a pass first,
I think Jokic is pass first.
You think pass first? I think both of them are ball smart so much that they do what the defense is trying to take away, and they do the opposite. Like, if you're forcing LeBron to pass, he's going to be passing it to the open person. I don't think LeBron is a pass first since he was back with Cleveland 1.0.
They're all around players, but one of their key skill sets is passing. That's one of Jokic's primary skill sets. Same for LeBron. That's what we've always said about LeBron, one of the best all around players of all time.
Right.
The big part in that is the passing, because they say he's not a scorer like Jordan, but he has the passing. He's like Magic and Jordan combined. And that's what people always try to compare him to. So yeah, they're both
LeBron's a great passer.
He's one of the greatest.
Fake pass and pass it that way. I love that play. Yeah, I'm not saying that he's not a good passer. I just don't think he's a pass first player.
He's one of the greatest passers of playmakers ever. He's gonna get 40K. He's gonna get 40K, 10K, 10K. So it's like. So this is what I'm saying. Like when LeBron went out and people were making these takes, like, oh, and then when he came back, it's like, how are the Lakers gonna play when LeBron comes? What do you mean? What does that mean?
What are y'all talking about?
Like when the team loses their best player, they should move the ball. Why would Reeves just hold the rock the whole game? That's not his life. AD should be the primary option, then everybody else play off him. Move the rock. Everybody gets their shine. When LeBron comes back, yes, LeBron's going to have the basketball, but LeBron also creates open shots for everybody else because the defense is focused on LeBron. So he's going to pass you and get you the rock. You have to knock down that shot. He's going to create more open shots any other time than if he's not on the court. If he's on the court, your open shots are going to be higher than if he's not. That's just a given. Because you have to double. You have to show.
The only thing I would say different, and I'm agreeing with you that you do get the open shots, and this is something I've kind of said in the past with you, CJ, is that with LeBron, like some of the movement on the offense kind of gets stagnant. It's the 4 out. They stand more or less at the 3-point line waiting for the double, and then they'll do the fade to the corner because that's where the defense would turn their back, or they'll come up to the high part of it for the open 3, and that's really all the movement does. And I think sometimes offensively it gets stagnant for a player and they don't get in the rhythm. Without LeBron, I think there's more of a motion offense for the players, and I think they feel more comfortable. Now, I'm not saying that these other people that what they're trying to say is anywhere of that, because I don't think they think that. I think they just think, oh, wow, Reeves has 40 points. Like, now what's he going to do because LeBron's there? Like, I don't think they understand that part of it. But I do think that does hinder the game a little bit of these other shooter players, because we get, Danny Green, who used to be a shooter, come play with LeBron, has a hard time for the years that he plays with them, goes back and he becomes a little bit better of a shooter without him. And I just feel like some of these guys don't get in their rhythm on offense because he is a passing player, yes, but sometimes he has the ball on the back down, set the pick, get the bully ball, and then everyone else stands wait for the shot. I think that hinders them as far as their blood flow getting going, in a groove into the game, and it hurts a little bit. That's my opinion. Probably a lot of people don't agree with me on that, but that's the offense that LeBron has always ran, and the shooters are there. I mean, just you're there to knock it down. There's no excuse.
That's all you need around LeBron is floor spacers. That's all you need. Right. In the back down LeBron. I mean, I'm gonna take that every time. That's a mismatch. And again, the way teams play defense now, they don't fight over the screen. They just settle and just switch. So 9 times out of 10, he's going to get a mismatch. He's going to get a guard, a smaller guy on him. So yeah, why wouldn't he capitalize on that? So if a taller player comes and shows, then you kick the ball and move the rock. There were more shots for everybody else when LeBron was out, and they capitalized on that, and it showed how talented they are. So when LeBron sits and he's on the bench, the offense isn't as hindered now as it was before when LeBron would be on the bench and it looked terrible. So when LeBron's on the bench, he could rest longer. It could keep him fresher in the fourth quarter, especially in these playoff series. You have guys like Reeves, Russell. They could come in and make these plays and still do what they do when LeBron's on the bench. I think it just makes their offense much better. And then you said Danny Green. Danny Green became a champion with LeBron. So I mean, whether he got better points per game. When he got better points per game elsewhere, cool. But if the ultimate goal is winning, then I would take that every time. I would take that every time. And that has been a criticism of people have tried to criticize LeBron and say that he makes people try to say he makes players worse. But my thing is, like, on every team, there's a hierarchy of who gets the most shots, who gets the second most shots. That's just what it is. Whoever the best player is, they're going to get the most shots, and then it just goes down from there. But it's a lot of players in the league that get the most shots and don't move the ball, like at all. So he knows he's going to get the most shots, but he also knows I need to get my other guys going as well. We've seen him do this multiple times. We've seen him get other guys going first because he knows he could get his at any given moment. We've seen him do this ad nauseum. Some people say to a fault, and some people want him to score more because they feel like he's too passive. So like when you say he's not pass first, I'm like, people have been saying he's passive and he doesn't want to score his whole career. So
I definitely
which one is it?
Well, I think Cleveland 1.0, like when I refer to that, there's a lot of games that was like, hey, it's the last second shot, and he had almost this name attached to him because he was hitting the open person when the game was on the line for that last second shot.
Why do we do that though? Like we say that like Jordan did pass it to what's his face in the '93 finals. Which player was that? Not BJ Armstrong. It was Paxson. Yeah. Like it's okay to make the right play, and even years later he ended up hitting Steve Kerr for a game when he shot. Like it's okay to make the right play. Like you know what I'm saying. You don't always have to be the one taking the last shot.
Right. I'm with you on that. I mean, to an extent too. Like. Winners want the game or want the ball when the game is on the line. Totally believer of that. Yes, shout out The Replacements. I just quoted that movie. Yes, I did. But at the same time, it's true. And, to me, LeBron did have the ball in those games, when the game was on the line. It's just he caused the defense to flock to him, and he had to have the faith in his player that was on the court with him and kicked it out for the open shot. I mean, you'd rather him force up something where he could get fouled and not be called, like, maybe against Boston Celtics or something like that. They lose the game, and then we have that dramatic act of whatever he was, or kick to the open guy to hit the shot. So I'm totally with it because I'm a pass first kind of player, actually. So I have totally respected that and totally for that. So I don't understand why people badmouth that, because technically he's making the best and right play to hit the open guy, in my opinion. Now,
you just contradicted yourself.
No. I didn't say that he wasn't a pass first. I said he was a pass first to me in his Cleveland 1.0. I just don't think he's a pass first now. I think that's fine to do. I just don't think he's doing it now. But it's cool. I'm not contradicting. I'm saying I like to pass the ball, and I love pass. That's why Jason Kidd's my favorite player. I just think LeBron's more of a I'm going to kind of score now and make the defense come to me, then I'll kick it. But he's an all-around player. By all means, he is all around. But what I was going to say is this is
Are they going to the finals? Are they going to the finals with this new team?
We'll get to that because you know why?
We're on the subject.
Are they going to the finals?
I'm saying no. We're on the subject.
No, I don't think Lakers go to the finals.
So who got going to the finals?
I think the Suns are.
Yeah.
So make the case.
I
made my case. Make the case.
Kevin Durant has returned.
Okay.
And since they returned, they are 5-0. So they're playing well right now. This team has the firepower. They have the size. They have the length. And bringing this up, I think it's going good. CJ, this is